Hello.
Bonjour.
Hi.
Welcome to Nashville, you guys. How's it been going so far? How's the weekend been?
It's been awesome.
Jenna, this is your first one of these.
My first official fan convention, so it's nice to meet everybody up close and personal. It's so awesome.
Any surprises? Is it like you thought it was going to be?
No, actually what's really cool is how sincere everyone is. I'm just really enjoying the sincerity and the enthusiasm and passion, and I dig it. It's nice to connect with everyone. You know, we're on set 16 hours a day, and we work hard and love what we're doing, and then to get the response on the other side of the TV, and you guys sharing all of your experiences with us, like, it means a lot to me, and it makes every day on set, it reminds me why I'm doing it. So I just dig it. I dig meeting everyone. It's so cool.
Well, we're going to get a little bit more of that sincerity right now because this is about you guys. It's a Q&A. There's a microphone right there. See the volunteer holding her. We only have one because all the other mics in the building are up here on the stage right now. But you can line up behind her. I'm going to ask the first question to you guys, mostly for the vets. The show has gone through so much change, and you've had different locations and crews and cast members and now a showrunner, and I just wonder what it's like to have all that change for you guys as the years have passed.
Well, you know, it was definitely jarring for us, but we've been rolling around ever since we started. We were in Los Angeles, we were in Canada, we were in Mexico for a few years. Now we're back in America via Texas, and you know, showrunner changes and cast changes, it happens, and you know, we're sort of flexible and creative types anyway. We roll with it.
I mean, it feels like it's just part of how this show has been, right? It's from the start.
It feels like the nature of the show, where we've seemed to have been this this traveling group of, you know, misfits, and we go in and we burn things down. You know, so when you see us coming, you should probably run.
They're going to kick us out of Texas soon.
I mean, the other day, the alarm went on here, like, you should leave the building, and they all looked at me. I'm like, I didn't do anything. Please, baby, you need to go. Let's go together. I'm not going to fix anything.
Before we go to the audience, I have one question that I just got to get asked. This is for Daniel and Kim. You guys had one of the most crazy scenes I've ever seen where you stuck a spoon in his eyeball. And man, I just want to know what it was like to film that, and was it uncomfortable? And also, was that one of the first scenes you guys did together?
It's just another day for Kim Dickens, I think, sticking spoons in people's eyes.
It was another day at work for me, and it was completely comfortable for me. I was riding around on Daniel Sherman's back for like 2 days.
Long time. I feel like it was actually. Kim, you seem to got way more bruised out of that than I did. I feel like you had that massive bruise.
We were covered in pads, and we did all our own stunts on the thing. And by the end of the day, though, I looked like a crime scene photo.
Yeah, you did. It was I didn't know. Obviously, they released scripts very late in the day. All I knew is when I took the job is that they said, you have to come to have your prosthetic fitted because you're going to have a spoon in your eye. And I went, oh, fucking hell, here we go. Like, okay, brilliant, this is going to be fun. And then Kim Dickens just enjoyed it way too much, I think.
That's how it worked then? You just had this kind of spoon fitted to your eye, and then she would just hold on to it?
Yeah, and so the prosthetics guys did an amazing job of having this thing behind it. And obviously I'm the only person who can't see what that looks like. So I'm walking around, and there's just Kim and Alicia going, oh, fuck, oh, Jesus. And it moved, and it like sprayed blood at the same time, didn't it? And then it cracked. And it cracked. I mean, it was the whole thing that made such an awful noise.
It must have been really disgusting in the lunch line.
Yeah. I just like walked around.
Yeah, nobody sat with Daniel those days. But you could actually, the prosthetic was so amazing because I could actually slip the spoon in it and move the eye around.
And that's my real eye that Kim was moving around.
How much do we love stuff like that? Let's give a big round. Okay. Hi, what's your name? Where are you from?
Cassandra, and I'm from Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
What's your question?
My question is for Kim, I guess, or the whole cast. I was wondering, do you think there's a coincidence between both main characters losing their sons in the same
Season?
season. There you go.
Thank you.
That's a great question. Coincidence? I don't know. Maybe so. I mean, we're a sister show, but I just know that sort of loss will propel a parent into outer space, really. So it's amazing storytelling technique.
Thank you.
How did you guys find out about Frank, and what was your reaction?
Well, the end of last season, we knew that Frank has been itching to do some other things. You know, he's a musician, he's an artist, he wants to, he lives, his family, his livelihood is in London, and he wanted to be back there. And so it's really tough. I mean, as you know, like Jenna was saying, we work 16-hour days. We were away in Mexico. It requires a lot of you for like 6 months at a time. And he was just ready to, I think he felt like that he exercised as much as he can with his character, and he was ready to do something else. And so it started with that decision. But then it was a stunner when we were like, oh, he's gonna go episode 3.
happening.
What? What's happening? Okay, so we were all just like, wait, what's happening? You guys joining us? So you're like, wait, what's going on? We're all like, hold on. But also it does resonate within the cast and the company, because we're all feeling that way, not only as a company on screen, we're feeling that behind the scenes, the loss of someone who's been a part of this from the very beginning.
Yeah, I think when we finally found out exactly when and how it was going to happen this season, we were all pretty stunned, and a few of us that were together just kind of ended up at Alicia's apartment and just kind of were quiet together.
Yeah, when a couple of you guys asked me, how do you feel? I'm like, I went through 3 shocks. When I got the script, when I shot it, and when I watched it. So I'm like, oh my God, when is this gonna stop? So I thought, okay, I'm gonna watch it on Sunday. I think I'm ready. So it was a Sunday, and on Monday I had to work. So I usually on Sundays I put like a mask, like one of those like masks that you put on, it has your eyes like a hole. And so I'm like,
mask?
Yes. So I'm like, I put on a mask, I'm like, I'm gonna watch the show, I know what's gonna happen. And I start crying, and my mask starts doing this. And I'm like, why do you have a hole in there? It's like my nose. It was like a mess. So I was obviously not ready for that. So it's shocking because, I love Frank, and Frank is one of the reasons why I joined the show. And he was, I learned who Luciana was through Frank, and then I knew who Madison was through Frank, and I knew who Coleman was through Frank. It's like he was the filter to get to know the Clark family and to even get to Texas. So for me to see him go, I was like, no.
I guess, with Glenn, the silver lining, even though it's hard, like, man, I miss Nick. But if you're his girlfriend, then maybe when they die, then that means there's more focus on your character and more development for your character. Did you think about that at all? Like with Maggie on The Walking Dead?
Maggie? Oh, yes. Sorry, we have a Maggie, but her name is also. I was like, well, I wasn't thinking about that. I think the loss of Nick, it was devastating for all of us because his presence meant so much to Strand, to Madison, to Alicia. And obviously for me, it was like devastating, but I was just thinking, how can we survive this one? I did it because I even though we knew that Frank wanted to go, I never thought of, okay, how can we move on? I never even thought about that. So now that it happened, we just looked at each other, how are we gonna do this? It's like, it's
challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, hi.
Hello, I'm Brittany, and
She brought us flowers today.
This is my flower, thank
I
you.
see it. You look very lovely. My question for all of you, as all of your individual characters go through such struggle.
Can you get closer to the mic?
I can.
Thank you.
For all of your individual characters, they all go through so much struggle and different stories and different points. What has been one of the biggest struggles, respectively, between everyone and their characters throughout the whole story so far?
In terms of us as actors, or in terms of the characters?
Both.
That's a long question.
Either or.
Either or, yes.
You, Kevin, just start.
Oh, I haven't talked. No, you don't need to hear from me. I'm fine. You just met me. I'm still developing. So, although I did take a bite out of one of those shitty hot dogs, and they were they were not good. So the development of my palate is probably as far as I've gone thus far. But yeah, so hey.
Wait, I want to ask you. With you, it seems like when you're the challenge might be, oh, here's a villain and he's threatening to take everyone's stuff. It's Negan. It's another Negan. And then you had to kind of quickly differentiate yourself, which I think he has. But did you think about that people might just equate you with Negan?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to assume that a villain behaves a certain way, and I think the great thing about when the idea was introduced to me of this character was just, I think he's just very practical. I don't think he's intending to be frightening or to be disrespectful even. I think he's very practically telling them that things are going to end badly. And I prefer characters who don't come in sort of beating their chest, and I don't find that very frightening. The people I find really terrifying are the people who are well-spoken and thoughtful and, three-dimensional people and who may just have a screw loose. And I think ultimately Mel is probably more on that spectrum, and I just think it's more fun to play. And I think the scenes are richer with the two of us because it's still two human beings talking to each other, and I think it's not me trying to intimidate her. I think he's just giving her information, and I think our dynamic especially ends up working because of that, because it's not forced, and there's no subtext or posturing, which I like.
It does seem a little creepier because he's not so much, I'm a villain though sometimes.
Yeah, and to me, I'm 5'9" standing on a ladder, so it's not like I'm scary to stand in front of. So it doesn't work for me. So once I knew I was doing it, I don't know how they had initially conceived it, but I have to make it work for me as an actor and for me as a human being. And so I got to figure out a way to get into it that way. And the best way was to sort of for him to be emotionally manipulative and maybe even a little charming. And, he's trying his best to get what he wants without having to hurt anybody. And I like that.
Any other challenges?
I can say just briefly for me, my character comes in and she has a tremendous secret and a backstory which you can sense, but you don't know what it is. And I found it interesting as an actor. Usually when you're playing a scene, you have like a forward-moving agenda or some goal or purpose as a character in a scene of what you want to accomplish. And for me, so much of it, which tonight and next week's episode, a lot of my backstory comes out, and you really start to find out. My character's like withholding herself and keeping herself from Madison. I mean, she's there because she saved her life and it's a safe place, but it's like my character's really uncomfortable and you don't really know why. And I found that actually a tremendous challenge to play a reverse motion as a character rather than a forward-moving like agenda in the scenes. And it was actually quite uncomfortable. And after I had the episode where it all comes out, I felt so much more able to move forward, which as an actor and the character. And it was kind of amazing to sort of have both those things, experience both at the same time.